Hold on tight for the next hour. You're entering into a place, a zone called the alternative to the alternative media.
What the hell's going on out here?
It's a place, a special place where even truth seekers fear to tread.
All right, people, let's move like we got a purpose.
Affirmative.
It's time for the Greg Anthony Show on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, people of all races, colors, and creeds. Hey, can I even say that anymore? Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, people of all races and colors and creeds. I can say that, I think, for the police that are policing everything we say. Greg Anthony here on CRN3, the greatest show on earth, bar none. And the reason we're the greatest show on earth, I'm not afraid to say it. Everybody that does a radio show really thinks it's the greatest show, but they don't have the guts to say it. You know why we're the greatest show? I'm asked that question a million times because I don't have to listen to these the House of Representatives, these idiot Congress people, both sides of the aisle, got the lowest ratings. I'm telling you, they got lower ratings than my show. And everybody listens to what they say. But I do not listen. They have a House Resolution 6666. You know what it does? It authorizes everybody to snitch on you for something going on now. I woke up today, and is there some kind of strange thing going on in America? Everybody's walking around with their faces covered. And somebody told me that there's an illness, a plague. And then I said, well, where's all the people dying on the street? I don't see anybody. Everybody looks fine. And then somebody told me, oh, don't worry. If you have it, you may not know it and you don't get sick, but you can't go out. And if you can't go out, you can't go to work. And if you can't go to work, you can't make any money. And then I said, you know what? You're just like me now. I've never, I got fired from more jobs than anybody in the history of the world, and I'm proud of it. I never could stick to a job. That's why I got on radio. I really got on radio because, I got tired of being fired. They can fire me on the radio just by, calling me up. They don't look me in the eye and go, son, something, you're just not living up to our standards, and then you walk out of there, drink a half a dozen beers and forget about it and go on the next day. Greg Anthony here. You're probably wondering, this is my first night. I'm going to do a nightly show, 8 to 9. You got to come every day. Advertise with me. Come on. By the way, this is Radio Suicide. First show, I'm going to give you the call-in number, 818-818-6401. And this is suicide, they tell me, because if nobody calls, they'll go, nobody's listening. You're terrible. Go home and go to sleep. But you know what? I'm brave. I go outside without a mask. I get close to people. The other day, I'm walking down the street. The guy gives me the old shoulder bump. I go, what? Give me your hand, sir. This is America. It's the land of the free, the home of the brave, and I will not give you a fist bump or a shoulder bump. I am shaking your hand, and he ran away. But anyway, this show is better than listening to the Pope. Yep. He doesn't have the crowds like he used to. Poor guy. St. Peter's Square is empty. So he's out there giving an exorcism, and the desert pops up through that obelisk and goes, ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? Oh, boy. Now every Catholic in the world hates me. But anyway, that's okay. I was born Catholic. I hate myself. But anyway, how many of you out there like this show? Let me ask that question again. How many love me? They need to hear that applause, and they need to hear the laughs. Now, where's all our comedians? I knew I was funny the day I said my real last name. I'm Polish. And once I said it, I used to get laughs just for saying it. Unbelievable. So that's how I got into comedy. And folks, tragedy plus time equals comedy. And it took me about 1 second back in March when I heard about this COVID-19. I realized this was a comedy of errors. So I started up that same day. Somebody asked me the first day COVID came out, they said, everybody's dying from it. I said, yes, yes. I've covered the first case. That's my show, The Investigative Journal. And I explained myself the first day, and I've been proven right. There was a man walking down the street, and a pig of 300 pounds fell from a third-story building, hit him in the head, killed him. He laid there for 12 hours because nobody wanted to get near him. The pig, who I've named Lester, survived. Yes, he survived and is now in a zoo happily going, I was the first one who caused the COVID virus death, because they listed this guy as a COVID virus death. And then I started to figure out that's how they get all these deaths. But don't forget, folks, even before COVID, about 8,000 people every day died in America. Luckily, you weren't one of them, but someday you will be. We always have death in common, don't we? Yes, death is something we have in common. We also have in common, you got to call me or I'm going to go home with a very bad complex. 818-818-6401. I'll take any questions. And if you want to know where that pig is, I'll take that too. But anyway, you know what? The idea that this thing is going to go away is crazy. And I tell you something, it's never going to go away. So we got to learn to live with it. And comedy has always been a way to kind of get yourself, say whatever you want. You know, the things I say on this show sometimes don't go over very well with people. Like the other day, a person said, how come you don't believe we went to the moon? And I said, you know, I only believe things I see. Isn't that the argument you always get with God? You know, people that don't believe in God. No, I don't see him, feel him, and I don't believe in him. But they're the same people that believe we went to the moon. And I said, I don't believe in that because I haven't been there. And once I go and sit there on top of the moon, I'll believe in it. That's the only way. They said, well, you'll never do that. I said, exactly. And I said, what about God? You know, well, they said, well, we've seen pictures. I said, the exact same thing you've seen about the moon. Pictures. All right. Since we're talking, are we talking? 818-818-6401. Every time I do that, I lose my train of thought. But anyway, this show is better. Guess what? My favorite joke, I got to give it to you. I've been doing this thing for I don't know how long now, since COVID started, is Brad Pitt. You know, there was a big, huge online voting contest. How many women in the United States wanted Brad Pitt to put on a mask when he went outside? And you know what? There were 8 million votes that he should not be able to wear a mask. He does not have to wear one. And there were 3 votes that said he did. So why do I have to wear one if he doesn't? You know? And the girl said, well, he's beautiful. He's good looking. And we can't live without looking at his face. So I get up and I see all these people with these masks on. And I'm going, is this Iran? I mean, nothing wrong with Iran. But if you don't have to cover your face, why do you do it? And anyway, sometimes we do get serious on this show because comedy does go into that area of seriousness. And it kind of realizes how crazy we really are. And I think COVID is the one that really did it for me. I've always been a little bit of a critic of the owners of our country who have made slaves out of every one of us, you know, white, black, green, whatever. And I've always been kind of a harsh critic on some of our politicians who I consider to be, you know, I don't even like making jokes about them because, you know, they're not the real people behind this. They're just puppets. They're given a script and then they speak. You know, it's kind of like if you've ever been an actor, that's what they do. They give you a script and every morning they get their script. But this thing going on in the White House with this COVID virus is a complete, in my estimation, a bit exaggerated and a bit harsh in keeping the whole world at home. That's just me. But anyway, in the second half hour, I've talked with, earlier today, I taped an interview with a doctor. Her name is Kelly Victory. And she is really a regular MD because when I say these things, people just think, oh, well, I'd rather listen to Dr. Dracula Anthony Fauci. You know, he knows exactly what he's talking about. Or Donald Trump or the merry band of sorcerers that are up there at the White House, kind of mixing their brew, telling you what to do. But you don't listen to other doctors. If you had cancer, wouldn't you get a second opinion? Well, how come you don't get a second opinion before you go out and think you're going to die from COVID virus? Everything they tell you is exactly the opposite of the way it is. Yes, it is. And let me hear an applause. How many of you? It's about time that people get on the I know there's a bunch of people. I could give you the greatest doctor in the world and tell you everything they're saying is wrong. They listen to Sean Hannity and all these people on Fox. They go, they got to be right. They got to be right. They got to be right. Go down the yellow brick road. They got to be right. Now, I like those guys. They make a lot of money, good talkers, and they got a nice patriotic view on Fox. And I kind of like that too. Now, don't get me wrong. I've always loved the Constitution. And I think that it's a great piece of paper. But it's only a country, and its laws are only as good as its people. And look at the idiots we have on the Republican and the Democratic side. In fact, for me, they're both the same, the exact same people. And guess what? That's the difference of this show. And that's why I call it the greatest show on earth, because we don't take sides. We think that the Republicans and the Democrats at the top actually do work together. And I've given, over the years, hundreds of facts that can show that, because you can't, it's kind of like a court case. I could give you an example. For example, why hasn't Trump fired Fauci? Why does he let him go up and give you these ideas? And why does he think that ventilators and masks are really good when they're not? I mean, I'm not president, but if I was for one day, all I would say is there is no new normal. It's normal the way we were before this. All you had to do is the same thing, That's it. You don't have to sanitize your office chair or your windowsills. You don't have to go around not staying near people. And you know what's happening when you don't get near people? Right now, I have a problem with it for one reason. I was talking to a guy the other day, and they start drifting away. And I start thinking, is my breath bad? I start checking my own breath. But then I start realizing it's a new world. We can't get near people anymore. And some people are going, that's fantastic. I've never liked to be close to them anyway. I had a lot planned because I'm going to try to get it in. I got a guest coming on at at the end of the hour, guy from Israel, former mayor of Shiloh, for a short interview. And in the second half hour, man, I'll get to some things. You gotta know we've uncovered a new Bible. Yes, it's called the CDC WHO Bible. You're gonna love that. Did you realize? And also, we're going to talk about syringes. They have given a contract out. This was back in May, the Department of Defense, and they've ordered 140, I think it's million or billion or whatever $1 million for 500 million of these quick syringes that they can give you because that's where it's going. They're going to give you a vaccination, which is going to get more people sick, because I'm not a doctor, but you haven't built up antibodies to defend yourself, your immune system. But there's a good way they're going to do it. They're going to come to your house, because I don't think people like needles, and they're going to come with a drone, and they're going to drop the Pillsbury Doughboy. Yeah, a little replica Pillsbury Doughboy to give you a vaccination. Hey, listen, back in about 3 minutes on CRN3, The Greg Anthony Show. Don't miss it every night, 8 to 9 on CRN3, right here. Back in 3 minutes. Hey folks, Greg Anthony here, and during this COVID-19 pandemic, it's deja vu foreclosure time all over again. I'm talking behind in your mortgage 1, 2, 3 months and you are out. But there's a company out there that will go to bat for you. IWillSaveYourHome.com, and remember those words will do just that. Over the years, with the courage of David versus Goliath, the people at I Will Save Your Home have brought many of these money-hungry mortgage lenders to their knees. Remember the wave of foreclosures and the 2008 financial mess? Well, when the dust finally settles from this COVID-19 pandemic, it won't be a wave, but a tsunami of default foreclosures is on the Great Depression horizon. If your home is at risk of foreclosure, the problem must be tackled at once, and that's exactly what the people at IWillSaveYourHome.com will do, because one wrong move could spell disaster. They will specialize in working tirelessly to restructure and get you a fair and just loan modification. And during this COVID crisis, new laws are popping up every day, and they will untie all the legal ropes that just may save your home. A beautiful home, loving family has always been your American dream, so don't let foreclosure and these big banks turn your dream into a nightmare. Don't delay. Call today. Contact IWillSaveYourHome.com at 619-268-3687. That's 619-268-3687. They're a proud sponsor of the Greg Anthony Show.
Stop the presses. Cue the chorus. The musical ensemble Columbo's has triumphantly reopened. Columbo's has thrown open its golden doors to deliciousness and delightment to please the palate of a panting public in desperate need of greatness and grandeur and all-around phenomenal, gleeful times and gratifyingly glorious grub. You see, when you really want and need Italian food, you have got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. Yes, it's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Yes, the world's greatest steaks, the very best catch for the 7 seas. Columbo's family Italian recipes and internationally acclaimed meatballs beckon your reappearance at the House of Yum Yum. Do dreams come true? Oh, yes, they do. Columbo's is open with reckless abandon to sate your insatiable senses. Columbo's, that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's, mangia bene.
This is the Entertainment Answer. The new political comedy Irresistible is a bipartisan look at how silly and out of hand elections can get. It stars Steve Carell and Chris Cooper, and Carell said this about the script.
It's really not so much about the politics themselves. It doesn't necessarily lean right or left. It's really mostly about the people who are caught in between.
Irresistible is rated R for language and available on demand starting June 26th. Remember to be safe and smart out there. For this Entertainment Answer, I'm Matt Mungle.
RN every night, 8 p.m., Monday through Friday. And I was thinking at the break, a lot of stories, folks, are getting overlooked because of COVID-19 and the civil unrest and the burning of America. And one such story is just something that happened between Israel and Palestine. Recently, U.S. Ambassador to Israel, David Freeman, said that the application of Israeli sovereignty of up to 30% of the West Bank is expected soon to be approved by the Trump administration. Folks, this marks 53 years since Israel's recapture of the West Bank in the Six-Day War in 1967, and 39 years since Israel annexed the Golan Heights in 1981. Trump's been a huge supporter of Israel, and looks like this is going to go through. But guess what happens? Expected Palestine Authority Chairman, Mr. Abbas, threatened to cancel every single agreement signed with Israel if it annexes one single piece of the West Bank, any part of Judea or Samaria. My guest is the former mayor of Shiloh, David Rubin from Israel. He's also the author of Trump and the Jews, a great book. But I wanted to ask David, why is this West Bank sovereignty so controversial, and how come Israel's waited so long to annex parts of it?
Well, Israel hasn't made the move because the Prime Minister of Israel has always been very concerned about having at least some approval by the nations in the world. He doesn't want to go ahead with a very controversial move that is sure to create rioting and that is sure to create opposition from the Arab countries, and he doesn't want to do that without having at least the approval of the President of the United States. And that's the reason why he hasn't gone forward with it yet.
So you got no help from Obama, correct?
Oh, no, not at all. President Obama was fiercely against it. He always referred to it as illegal Israeli settlements. And Trump cleared that up very quickly with Secretary of State Pompeo stating very clearly that the United States does not consider the areas of Judea and Samaria and to be part of anything other than Israel, and that it certainly is not illegal for Israel to set up settlements there.
I guess a question I have is why 30%? Is this some type of appeasement to the Palestinians, or what's the reason for that number?
Well, the short answer is yes. That President Trump's administration, mainly led by Jared Kushner, who authored this plan together with Netanyahu, the two of them were the main parties that worked on this very seriously, and they came up with this 30% figure. And frankly, there's no logical reason why it should be only 30%, since Israel has a history that goes way back. About 1,000 years, Israel was sovereign in Judea and Samaria, the so-called West Bank. If we went strictly on historical reasons or religious reasons, Israel would be taking possession of 100% of the West Bank. But Trump was looking to compromise. He was looking to make a compromise, and so was Netanyahu, and that's what they did.
Well, you just formed this unity government there. It's been going on for a long time. I mean, this has been in the news here for months regarding the problem in Israel of getting a government together. You finally formed this government. Trump is behind you. We got things moving in favor of Israel. Is this going to get done, David? What do you think?
Well, I think something is going to happen in the next couple of weeks. And when I say something is going to happen, we're looking at some form of sovereignty being declared by Netanyahu. I'm not sure that it's going to be the full 30%. It may be something more like 10 or 15% without a promise for a Palestinian state.
If this goes through, Abbas has said that he's threatening to burn the Oslo peace agreements. You think he's going to start burning anything else?
He may try to, but we know how to stop riots in Israel. So I don't think that's going to be a big problem.
Hey, one thing, we got 30 seconds. I want to have you on again and maybe keep you coming back on to keep us abreast of what's going on in Israel. Get also your views. I don't have time today about the civil unrest here in America and how to handle it. But anyway, where can people get your book, Trump and the Jews? Real quick. We got about 15 seconds.
Sure. They can go straight to davidrubinisrael.com, davidrubinisrael.com, or they can go to Amazon and just punch in the words Trump and the Jews.
Okay, David, thanks for your insights. We'll have you on again, and let's hopefully that'll go through in Israel. Okay, that was David Rubin, and we'll be back in 3 minutes on the Greg Anthony Show.
I'm Dave Hull. How'd you like to receive your very own autographed copy of my award-winning book, Hullabaloo, The Life and Misadventures of me, LA radio legend Dave Hull? I'll sign it for you personally at a specially reduced $30 CRN digital talk radio price. All you have to do is call the Dave Hull Group, 760-320-4434. 760-320-4434. We're waiting for your call right now.
It's totally normal to be constipated with belly pain, straining, and bloating again and again.
No way.
Maybe it's occasional constipation.
Maybe it's not.
You could have a chronic condition called irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives to help relieve belly pain and let you have more frequent and complete bowel movements. Individual results may vary. Do not give to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Maybe it's not occasional constipation. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. You may be able to talk to a doctor online. Visit linzess.com, sponsored by Allergan and Ironwood.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 888-912-1332. 888-912-1332. 888-912-1332. Call right now. 888-912-1332.
Hey folks, Greg Anthony here, and during this COVID-19 pandemic, it's deja vu foreclosure time all over again. I'm talking behind in your mortgage 1, 2, 3 months and you are out, but there's a company out there that will go to bat for you. IWillSaveYourHome.com, and remember those words will do just that. Over the years, with the courage of David versus Goliath, the people at I Will Save Your Home have brought many of these money-hungry mortgage lenders to their knees. Remember the wave of foreclosures and the 2008 financial mess? Well, when the dust finally settles from this COVID-19 pandemic, it won't be a wave, but a tsunami of default foreclosures is on the Great Depression horizon. If your home is at risk of foreclosure, the problem must be tackled at once, and that's exactly what the people at IWillSaveYourHome.com will do, because one wrong move could spell disaster. They will specialize in working tirelessly to restructure and get you a fair and just loan modification. And during this COVID crisis, new laws are popping up every day, and they will untie all the legal ropes that just may save your home. A beautiful home, loving family has always been your American dream, so don't let foreclosure and these big banks turn your dream into a nightmare. Don't delay. Call today. Contact IWillSaveYourHome.com at 619-268-3687. That's 619-268-3687. They're a proud sponsor of the Greg Anthony Show.
Okay, back for the big second half hour of the Greg Anthony Show on CRN3 every night, Monday through Friday, 8 to 9. So tune in, please do. It's our first night. My call-in number, I take call-ins all the time, and that is because I want you to do the work. Yeah, I think I can just sit back and go, okay. But anyway, 818-818-6401. 818-818-6401. If you want craziness in broadcasting, but yet get a little bit of a truth mixed in, this is the place to go. Politics, the media, anything else is on the table. You never know. And by the way, CRN, I was checking out their schedule. They got a lot of shows from every walk. I mean, they got wine shows, auto mechanic shows, truth-telling shows. They got some really good left wing, I mean, mostly right wing broadcasters, a lot of shows from every possibility that you'd want. So it's really a pretty decent station. And I asked the owner, Mike Horn, I said, Mike, do you have room for somebody that has the COVID virus, hoof and mouth disease? And he laughed a little bit. I said, really, Mike, I have it. It will never go away. And I never know what I'm going to say. So please let me on. No one else will have me anymore. In fact, they want to quarantine me out of radio. And he came to my rescue. He said, we'll take the risk. Yes, We will take the risk that you won't spread the hoof and mouth disease through the airwaves and get everybody talking about what we should be talking about. Let's get back to work. Let's get back to what we normally do. I'm so tired of it. And I know you are too. But anyway, when you really think about this, there's really people are going, well, there's a silver lining to this. Where? Well, I don't see any. I'm sorry. Well, you can read a lot. Yeah. But you know what? When you really think about it, that, like Mark Twain said, illiteracy is not so bad. Just think how many bad books you don't have to read. Can you imagine? I don't know. These guys at Fox, I haven't read one book they've done. Okay. And I can't say they're good or bad, but in my estimation, I just look at the cover, and if I don't like that, I just don't read it. But how can all of these people on the radio write all these books? I mean, every one of them has a book. That doesn't sound right to me. I could see one of them being a book writer, but all of them? But then again, if you look on the internet, everybody writes books, don't they? Now, you can write a book, and then 3 people read it. That's okay. It's good therapy. But anyway, Twain did have a brilliant statement there when he said that, because there are a lot of lousy books out there, and no better way to look at this is than my college history class. I want my money back. I've always said this because they have given me half the story. Half the story. I want to get the full story about American history, and I've been doing that for a long, long time, and you're going to get a little bit of that on this show. It's not all fun and games here, folks. We do get into some serious things. And, we do interview people from all walks of life. In the 25 years I've been in journalism, whether it be on the radio, whether it be writing newspaper articles, etc., or whether it be delving into the law. I did get a law degree. Don't hold it against me. I really made a big mistake getting into journalism, thinking that it was a free press when it isn't. And then thinking the law is just, we got a 2-tier justice system here. I always hear that. And, when you think about it, I had a friend named Sherman Skolnick. He was from Chicago, my hometown. And Sherman was a real investigator, man. This is back before the real big internet days. And we used to spend nights on the phone till 3 a.m. talking about my favorite subject, dishonest judges. And Sherman had a statement. He said, something? The most endangered species in the world is an honest judge. And I think he's right. Did you see some of these Supreme Court rulings lately? I'm not even going to go into them. Just look into it. I mean, it's... it makes me wonder what we're all about. But like I said, I've interviewed people, princes, kings to paupers. And I've always liked the paupers more because the other ones are always lying to me. And my first editor at a newspaper said, Greg, the first thing you got to learn is to read backwards. And I said, why? Because he said, the truth is on those things that they're looking at, and they're never going to tell you what the truth is on their desk. Okay. But anyway, these politicians are lying scoundrels. I don't know why we listen to them on either side, but we do. It's the best we have, and that's really the sad thing about America. If that's the best we can do, and I bet you there's 100 people listening right now, hopefully that would be better in the position of president and all of these things in Congress than the people we have. So, there's hope for America. A lot of shows like mine, people get the wrong impression. I love America, not this country, because you can't love a country. I don't know how people love countries. I mean, I like to sit in the mountains, but I don't hug it and kiss it and say, I love you, mountain. But, I love the people, and throughout my years, I've met so many great Americans. And the only time I get a little upset is when they all start following the leader like they're doing with COVID-19. And hopefully we can change that a little bit, because there's really a lot of real good doctors out there telling you, and I won't go, I may play something. I taped an interview with a Dr. Kelly, what's her name? Kelly Victory. And boy, I'll tell you, there's a number of doctors, and just to put it in make a long story short, everything they're doing from the White House task force is backwards. everything they're doing is wrong. Sunshine is good. Breathing is good, not through a mask and not eat, swallowing your own carbon dioxide. And it's very technical, but I think she's right. And I think we got to start listening. And in fact, I have a nephew who's a doctor in Seattle, and I contacted him, and he believes her too. So, you know what? If my family says it, you got to believe it. That's what they're telling you there. So why not? Just do your own homework, please. But don't believe everything you hear there. Like I said, I interview every person, people from all walks of life. I remember the time I flew out. I took a helicopter. Remember that island that Tom Hanks was on for 5 years? I met him. I went there. I got the scoop. I went out there when he was still talking to that soccer ball. And we had a great interview. He was a little underweight, and he wanted to go back with me on the helicopter. I said, no time. You got 3 more years here, or the movie will not make it. So I did him. But anyway, I do have a special interview for you today. Oh, my goodness. I didn't think I'd get this one, but he's on the line. Dr. Dracula Anthony Fauci is here. Never thought he'd come on my show, but he did. And the reason he's here, and I'm going to put him on in a second. I'll get him on, but I just got to preface this. Many people have said the testing of COVID virus isn't reliable, that 4 out of 5 people, now get this, are false positives. So you may have a coronavirus. There's many of them from maybe 10 years ago, and it'll show up now, and then you got to go quarantine, and you're going, I feel great. I just got done working out. I ran 5 miles. I'm not going home. Then they take you to the gulag. So a lot of people don't, this testing, if they don't really know what it is, which they don't, then how can they test? So we got Fauci on, and we're going to ask him that, and we got a test for him. Yes, it's not what you think, but we came up with a foolproof way of proving this. And you know what it is? Oh, boy. It is called the sneeze test. Yep. Dr. Fauci's going to be here to do the sneeze test. Let's get him on. Dr. Fauci, are you there?
Yes, I am, Greg.
By the way, Doctor.
Yes, Greg.
Do you mind if I call you Dracula?
Oh, no. You know something, people don't know this, but I love blood.
I love blood ever since my HIV days. Well, tell us, before we do the sneeze test, Dr. Fauci, can you tell us a little bit about your thoughts about the coronavirus now? Tell me. What is it? Do you know your thoughts? I don't know what he's doing. Can you tell me? What are your thoughts? Not many thoughts from Dr. Fauci. I hope I can get this sneeze test here. Let's see. All right, doctor, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you 5 sneezes, okay? And then you're going to tell me which one, or 4 sneezes, which one is the coronavirus.
Okay, Greg, go ahead.
Okay, sneeze 1. Okay, remember that, Dr. Fauci.
I will, Greg.
Now we're going to do sneeze 2. Okay, is that it? Remember them. Sneeze 3. Similar. Sneeze 4. Okay, we got another one. Sneeze 5. Is that it? How about, that's it. Oh, we got one more. Achoo! Now, doctor, this can be a breakthrough in medicine. We know which ones, we did our own testing. We know which sneeze is the coronavirus. Can you tell us which it was? It was with behind door 1. Refresh your memory. Door 2. Door 3. Door 4. 5. Or door 6. Okay? Which one? Well, Greg, from my thinking, being an etymologist, I think from all my years of experience, it's got to be the last one. Doctor, you're wrong. That was me, and I don't have it. I only got the COVID virus hoof and mouth disease.
I've never heard of that one, Greg.
Yeah, well, you know something? You sound a little different than you do on TV. Is there something wrong?
Well, this is the way I talk when the sun goes down.
Okay, doctor, listen. Hey, I want to thank you for coming on the show. You've given us some really hope that we can someday get to a test that's going to figure out what this is. Okay, the coronavirus sneeze
Dr. Anthony Fauci. My God. You see what I'm talking about? The type of people you get on this show? It's amazing. However, I did promise you that we came up, and I'm trying to pull this up right now. The CDC and the WHO are not very popular in Africa. Remember the story we did about the African president who sent a papaya, the juice of a papaya, some kind of fluids from a pheasant, and what was the other one? A goat. And he gave them human names, Jeffrey, John, and Bill, with last names, African last names. And they all came back positive for COVID. This is a true story. And guess what? He kicked out the WHO right after that. And boy, Africa, there's a lot of countries there that aren't buying this. But anyway, the CDC, this is a scoop. The original CDC WHO Bible was found recently by researchers in the 70s, they say. This has been hidden for a while, near the Dead Sea Scrolls, okay? The Bible, according to the apostles Ronald, George, Barack, Donald, and Dr. Anthony, who was just on our show, was then taken to the Vatican archives, that place where I'm telling you, I worked in Rome for 7 years, and that place is so guarded. I wonder what they got down there. But anyway, this version, not made available to the public, was stolen recently by an undercover agent of the only revolution that's really going to get to the bottom of this. That's General Grabnik's Second American Revolution. You can read all about it on my website at greganthonysjournal.wordpress.com. And I can't go into it tonight, but I'm here every night, so we'll have more time to get into the seriousness of this revolution, the only one that's not infiltrated by the enemy. But anyway, we reprint here a tiny portion. I've got it on my website. I'll read it to you. From the first book of Genitals, their version of Genesis, which pertains to the recent COVID-19 lockdown. That's weird how the Bibles, all Bibles, they relate to what we're doing today. But anyway, according to the Apostle Anthony, in the beginning, there was perfection, perfect health, no illness, no disease. Men and women frolicked, played, worked, and had a jolly good time. They ate fresh fish and drank crystal clear water. The animals and the plants were happy and feared no man or woman, who all lived side by side in harmony. Then, quote, "This cannot be tolerated. Our gods want chaos and suffering, so the chosen people, the 1%, can devour, rape, pillage, kill, and cut off the genitals." Ooh. Boy, of the useless eaters. Didn't Kissinger say that? I don't know. How did it get in a Bible? But anyway, said the Apostle Anthony, placing a curse on goodness and summoning every evil creature from the dark places beneath the earth. The demons being summoned, the earth stood silent for 3,333 years until one day, same amount of emails that Clinton had. But anyway, until one day when the newly formed CDC and WHO, together with all the rulers of evil, you'll hear those words very much on my show, but worldwide, and the merry band of White House sorcerers locked the whole world down with their evil spell. Oh my God. Terrible. Where are we in the Bible? The people from all countries stayed at home like rats in a cage, wore face masks, were afraid to touch anybody. Babies weren't being born. People couldn't see their loved ones at funeral homes. This is all true. And it got worse. Businesses closed. People went broke. And the whole world had to go to Greenland to live and catch fish. But anyway, and the world looked like a ghost town. The rulers of evil foisted a fake pandemic on the world, and the people believed. The rulers of evil told them to cover their faces and wear masks, and the whole world believed. Hey, listen, I'll get to the bottom of this. That's where we're going to end right now. We're at the mask stage now. Maybe there's a hope. Back in 3 minutes on the Investigative Journal and Greg Anthony Show. Hey, listen, come back every night, 8 to 9 p.m., CRN3. We'll be here, and hopefully you will too. Back in 3 minutes.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
This is The Entertainment Answer. The hilarious comedy My Spy is available on Amazon Prime Video starting June 26th. It's about a hardened CIA operative named JJ who has been demoted and finds himself at the mercy of a precocious 9-year-old girl named Sophie.
Is it too late to homeschool me?
Lots of laughs and heart in this one, and it was fun watching actor Dave Bautista in this type of role.
There is one thing I'm good at.
My Spy is rated PG-13 for some spy-type action, but otherwise a pretty safe option. For this Entertainment Answer, I'm Matt Mungle.
Hey folks, Greg Anthony here, and during this COVID-19 pandemic, it's deja vu foreclosure time all over again. I'm talking behind in your mortgage 1, 2, 3 months and you are out. But there's a company out there that will go to bat for you. IWillSaveYourHome.com, and remember those words will do just that. Over the years, with the courage of David versus Goliath, the people at I Will Save Your Home have brought many of these money-hungry mortgage lenders to their knees. Remember the wave of foreclosures in the 2008 financial mess? Well, when the dust finally settles from this COVID-19 pandemic, it won't be a wave, but a tsunami of default foreclosures is on the Great Depression horizon. If your home is at risk of foreclosure, the problem must be tackled at once, and that's exactly what the people at IWillSaveYourHome.com will do, because one wrong move could spell disaster. They will specialize in working tirelessly to restructure and get you a fair and just loan modification. And during this COVID crisis, new laws are popping up every day, and they will untie all the legal ropes that just may save your home. A beautiful home, loving family has always been your American dream, so don't let foreclosure and these big banks turn your dream into a nightmare. Don't delay. Call today. Contact IWillSaveYourHome.com at 619-268-3687. That's 619-268-3687. They're a proud sponsor of the Greg Anthony Show.
Okay, not all fun and games on the Greg Anthony Show. Not all the time. You know, we got mandatory vaccinations coming by these medical tyrants. But anyway, before I go any farther in the last segment here, let me tell you what I got in store for you this week. Tomorrow, you got to come back. I'm going to spend most of the hour talking to a guy named Jim Rothstein. Now, Jim is a former New York policeman, a detective in vice and in child trafficking. And also, Jim was the head of the pedophile task force for the governor back in the 70s and 80s in New York. And if you want to get to the bottom of really what's going on, he's the guy to talk to. Jim Rothstein will be here. He was, it's an incredible story, and you're going to hear things that are going to put things into perspective about who these rulers of evil are and what they're up to. He was also on a phone call with the Pope, the Pope that was killed. Yeah, 10 days before the Pope was killed, Jim was talking to him, along with a Father Ritter in New York. It's a great story, puts things into perspective, and will give you an idea why Jeffrey Epstein was allowed to do all these things all these years. And I have some doubts about this, this woman, Maxwell. Even, why would she be waiting at her mansion to be captured, when she had all this money and could go anywhere? And then why would Epstein be here anyway? So there's a lot of stories here. Jim usually tells me that people like this end up dead, or they take them somewhere and they're never seen again and kept alive. So there's a lot of questions. But anyway, we'll get to that. On Wednesday, I got John Levy here. He's an attorney, And he sued a number of people about the Croatian genocide right after World War II, one including the Vatican Bank. Interesting story. On Thursday, you got to come here. Now, I have a man by the name of JT. He's not a rapper, but there has been a private citizen that has put together a dossier about what's happened to us since COVID-19. It's this guy. And you got to listen, and I will highlight what he has done. It's incredible. And on Friday, my old friend from Rome, Leo Zagami, will be here to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that is, why is Fethullah Gulen, look it up, he's a terrorist, not a very nice guy, paid by the American government to live up in the Pocono Mountains. He's been here ever since Clinton. Throughout all these presidents, if Trump was for real, or Bush, they'd have got rid of him a long time ago. But see, they tout him as a moderate. He's not. And we know because we covered him back in Europe way back when. So I don't know why he's still here, but I can kind of tell you. So I'll talk to Leo about that. He is from Italy and knows the story well. So I wanted to wrap that up before I forgot about it. But I did want to mention about these mandatory vaccinations. This is the whole game plan here. They will stick it to you good this time unless you take the needle. There's going to be no travel, no shopping, no nothing. Forget the constitutional arguments, because with all these crooked judges, it doesn't matter. And remember the endangered species, right? Yep. Okay. And the mandatory vaccinations with a twist. They're going to bring the Pillsbury Doughboy down from... This is true. It happened to me. I didn't take it. From a drone to entice you by the night. How can say no to the Pillsbury Doughboy, right? All right. Hey, listen. Thanks. Hey, first show on Monday night. I was here on Fridays for, Friday Night Fest for about a few months, but this is more fun. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll get right back at it on the Greg Anthony Show and my investigative journal. Yeah, I got 30 seconds in radio. That's a long time. By the way, the reason I do radio, I think it's the best art form there is. The heck with Google and the Facebook. They're taking down, and YouTube, taking down all my shows anyway. Tell you why tomorrow on CRN3, the Greg Anthony Show. Back tomorrow. Have a good evening.